All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost ready here. Just to let you know, we do have this race between Sparkover and Tetraly, and we are going to have BTs doing some commentary for us. BTs, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Hopefully he sounds okay for y'all, and we're gonna count these two folks down in chat once we give them their names, and then we'll be ready to go. So let's just give them the names, and we'll be good.
Woo!
I can totally turn them up. Uh, say something again, BTs, just to make sure you're a little bit louder now. If not, I'll have to turn you up in Discord.
I'm saying things right now. Are we all good?
You're still a little quiet. I'm just gonna turn you up in Discord.
Okay.
All right. Let's try that one more time.
All right. Here I am here.
Is he still quiet, Scala? Echo. There shouldn't be an
Can
echo.
you describe the echo? Okay. What will that do? Nah, I don't get it. Sounds pretty clean. Sounds a little too clean. Righto? Oh, please do. All right, here we go. Welcome to the Legend of Zelda, an epic battle of a small elf-like boy trying to rescue a princess. We have with us Tetra and Sparkover going on the 80% no UP+A route. You'll see that both runners are headed towards level 2 first. This is a very necessary part of the run to not do level 1 first, because this is a speed game, apparently. Taking slightly different routes here through the forest. Taking no damage from the enemies here. Going to level 2 first with only 3 hearts is not free. You see Sparkover takes a shot off a moblin there. And Tetra damage boosts through a moblin there will bring the beams into level 2. Man, about synchronized time-wise, both in level 2. Tetra's taking down the ropes. One thing you'll notice about this route is that it is very dependent on picking up rupees. So you'll see Sparkover picks up a 5 rupee there. Tetra leaves a single rupee behind. And we're on to the Gorilla, which have chances to drop bombs, but give nothing. So the other strategy for this game is to run level 3 first, which has dark nuts and bomb drops. Level 2 has a couple places you can grab bombs, but they're not required, but they do help out. Sparkover getting a good chunk of change there, up to 17 rupees already. And on to the Moldorm. Moldorm has 10 body segments, which means if you kill a Moldorm without taking any damage, you'll get a 5 rupee. Sparkover demonstrates the opposite. So the drops in this game are divided up into sections. There's 4 drop groups, and there's 10 drops per group. And there's also your consecutive counter and your fairy counter. All that means is that if you kill 10 enemies, and on the 10th enemy you use the anything but a bomb to kill it, it will drop a rupee. Oh. Alright, good dodongos for both parties there. Cleaning up level 2, leaving with full bombs. And Tetra taking almost 30 rupees out. The reason you're going to need a lot of rupees here is for the blue ring, blue candle, arrows, and meat, which adds up to somewhere like 452 rupees required, something like that. Sounds about right. Now, since both players have gathered up their bombs, there's no extra combat going on here. It's just moving through, grabbing the secrets, and venturing forth, trying to pick up pieces of the Triforce and amass 250 rupees to buy that blue ring, which gives you twice your defensive power, which enables you to continue moving quickly through the game. Tetra has a 36.5, and Sparkover has a 37.5 minute completion time on this route or a very similar route. Small adjustments made for the purposes of this marathon. demonstrating the location of all of these 30 rupee secrets and 100 rupee secrets, like the one Sparkover is headed towards in the upper northeast section of all of Hyrule. You'll see also Tetra's grabbing a container heart, which looks like a box of chocolates. Having 5 hearts enables you to pick up the white sword. Now the white sword is a bit out of the way, and because this is a no UP+A run, it's really hard to route in when you'll pick up your white sword and what you'll do next. So here's a one-way room, and up this ladder, you'll find the White Sword Cave, guarded by everyone's favorite from the Zelda series, a Lionel. Very good job not taking damage there by Tetra. Sparkover here is demonstrating the wrap trick. You can get 5 pixels from the edge of the screen and appear on the opposite side of the screen, which is a time-saving trick and allows you to get around some obstacles around Hyrule as well. You can't do that inside the dungeons because the doorways are too controlled. You can do things like refresh the screen intentionally. Going off and on the White Sword Lionel screen moves the position of the blue Lionel. So the spawns are controlled throughout the game in a way that makes it so the enemies appear in a predictable location, and if you don't follow your exact route, your enemies will be in a different location. Alright, Tetris made it on to level 1. The locked door at the top of level 1. She's going to go ahead and open that by leaving level 1 and going back in. A fun little trick. It saves a key, saves a little bit of time. It's not the fastest key, but it is worth it. And Sparkover also making her way towards level 1. Tetra's already gathered 195 rupees. We'll see our combatants pick up the blue ring after level 3, before level 4. So the red gorilla that shoot the bananas that we just saw on Tetra's screen, they can't drop 5 rupees or fairies naturally in that 10-slot drop group I mentioned. But you'll see as Tetra stabbed a gorilla, a 5 rupee appeared because that was a forced drop. And the next one dropped a fairy because that was the 16th kill. So it's a forced fairy after a forced rupee. And so these runners are counting in their head constantly to 10 or to 16 to see what's going to drop next. The Stalfos are nice, these skeletons. They always drop something from the money group if they want to drop anything at all, and have just about a 40% chance to do so. You'll see Sparkover using bombs there to clear out the gorillas more quickly. And the bombs do 4 damage. The White Sword does 2 damage, but the bombs have like a 9-tile AoE that leans a little bit to the right, and it lingers a little bit too. So you can place a bomb in front of a moving enemy. Ooh, the trapped stag Sparkover there only has half a heart remaining. You have to try and buckle down. You don't want to take a death in a dungeon. It sets you back to the beginning of the dungeon with just 3 hearts, so you don't even get your beams back. Tetra gets a back spawn on the levers, though. Trying to clean up the last few Octorok here. Pick up some... Oh! And Aqua Mentis does tag Sparkover for that final shot. Aqua Menace has a randomized timer. Aqua Menace can fire the triple fireball on a timer, a frame counter basically, and can only have 1 set of shots on the screen at a time. That's not the worst death. Level 1's actually pretty small. Just gotta go back towards the center and make your way back towards the boss room and get your Triforce. So that's only about like a 30-second setback. Maybe a little bit more. And Tetra has made it into level 3. Sparkover is fishing for a bomb there. So here in level 3, you have a couple objectives. as Tetra's gonna snake this key too here. You want to keep your bomb count high, and what you can do... Oh, here's one way to do it. You go north here in this room, and you can get this key, and spend the key immediately to go in this room. Now, if you have beam swords, you can clear these keys. These keys have a room drop of a bomb. And this will take Tetra back up to 8 bombs total. And the Sparkover's coming back at level 1 and getting a 5 rupee there off of the lever. Tetra takes the other key, comes down into this Darknut room. This is one great way to clear the room. So, a couple of things just happened there. First off, she cleared that room immediately, which is awesome. Good speed tech there. Darknuts have 4 health. The bomb does 4 damage, and you'll notice that Link uses the same animation for stabbing as placing a bomb. And Darknuts have a shield in the front, so you can't stab them head on. Also, you can't bomb them head on, so the bomb remembers which way it was placed, and when it explodes, it deals damage in that direction. So what you saw was Tetra going in and placing the bomb to the side of the Darknuts and getting a lot of AoE damage there, and then kiting them upwards, and they walked into the bomb. The bomb explosion is so long that they dragged themselves through it, and she cleared the room instantly. Alright, so Tetra has everything. Wiped out that Manhandla very, very beautifully. Got out of there with 8 bombs, was able to force the bomb on Manhandla, and the exit with 151 rupees, where it's right in the sweet spot. You don't want to waste any money. So she's off to 100 secret here in the Dead Woods, which will bring the rupee total up to 251, and you can only carry 255. There's no wallet upgrade in this game. And the blue ring is 250 rupees, so you'll be going right back down to near zero and trying to amass your rupee collection again so you can buy things like arrows and meat, which we will see later. The Darknut turned around and didn't take any damage from that bomb from Sparkover, but cleans up quickly with the white sword, does half their health. Darknuts have fronts, and they have non-fronts. Their taxonomy is pretty easy. I have a couple stuffed here on the wall. Alright, so there's the blue ring. You'll notice something happens. Link changes color. He has his white tunic now. It's a nice pale blue color. I don't know. Color? Words. So this reduces all incoming damage by 50%, and you'll see Tetra demonstrating the left to right clip. So otherwise, you'd have to walk down, right, and up to get over this double wide river. But using this tech here, you just go right across. This is considered a minor glitch. It's allowed in almost every category, as Sparkover enters the Manhandla room. Gets a fairy, so one of two things happened there. Either Manhandla took exactly 16 bops from Sparkover, or fewer than 10 bops, and the fairy is in the natural health dropping group that most of the Zelda bosses are in. It's kind of nice. Bosses drop health, but they also lead you to Triforce, which fills up your health. Very helpful game. So, here's what I was talking about. Sparkover is 1 rupee shy. Was just trying to find someone to drop a single rupee so you can finish up and buy that blue ring. Tetra is moving on to what is called the breakfast room, which has a couple pancakes, a couple jellies, and a couple sparkly waffles that guard the stepladder, which opens up the rest of the game. Opting to use the white sword here, if you get hit by a curse bubble, you can't swing your sword, and you're limited to your bombs and anything else you might have in your inventory. But staying out of the way of these bubbly waffles was able to preserve all of the bombs. Sparkover gets her rupee, gets her 100 secret, and is off to the blue ring shop. And this is just the kind of thing you want to see in a race. You want to have a comfortable lead. You want to know where you're playing from. You want to stay close to your opponent. They're both probably within 30 to 45 seconds of their personal best splits. I don't know the last time that this category's been raced, but it's quite a treasure. Not much combat to do in level 4. It's dark room tech to clip across the step ladder. Another double wide river was in there, but with some tech like the wrap, you can get across. The Viry here also have 4 health. If you stab them, they split into keys, and they take a little bit longer, but if you bomb them, they drop bombs if you force them, and they also have bombs in their drop group. So Sparkover at the front of level 4, and Tetra finishing up the back. Goes back down, grabs the container heart here, and is going to pick up the 4th Triforce piece. So levels 2, 1, 3, 4, beaten in no specific order for Tetra. And now we move on to one of the most challenging parts of the run, getting the recorder. Some errands to run on the way. The next goals that we have, besides getting that, let's see, 142 rupees are left for Tetra here, minus the 46 she's carrying. You're going to want 12 total container hearts at some point, so you can pick up your next sword upgrade. And that's the reason why we pick up container hearts after our bosses. Link needs the strength and hearts to hoist the magical sword. And here we have the final 100 secret. Sparkover demonstrating exactly how to position Link on this step ladder to get across the double wide river block. Very nicely done. Some free cash here. UP+A is a death warp category. In a no UP+A category, you're trying to not die. Another reason why our runners have the blue ring, the tunic that decreases damage. So UP+A is has the same function as dying, and in this particular category, when you're in tournament play, you're required to return to the room where you died, so you can't gain an unfair advantage by poor play. So in an UP+A category, you would not be able to enforce that rule, or you wouldn't be able to use UP+A at all, because you'd still have to return to the room you used it on, so it's there's no point in using it. Tetra's picking up the hearts along the coast here. This is, I'm sure, the ocean that Link washes up on in Link's Awakening. At least the one from his dream. Across the raft here, which we picked up in level 3, gives you another opportunity for a heart container. But instead, you'll see Tetra grabs a red bottle of juice. This cranberry juice can be used to refill Link's health in combat. Another great safety strategy for these harder levels. Sparkover on the same route here. Using the example there, you can swing the sword to buffer the clip across the screen, which actually is on the Pixel 7 instead of Pixel 5. So you have a little bit of options there for when you're clipping across. It also gives you like a 12 frame buffer to tap up or down to get that screen scroll easier. This is level 5 on Tetra's side. There's two main objectives here. One is to get the dungeon item, which is required for the boss, Dig Dogger. It's a recorder. And, you know, defeating the boss, picking up the 5th Triforce piece and moving on. Excellent use of a block clip there to get into the diamond without combat. Otherwise, you'd have to kill all of those blue dark nuts. Blue dark nuts have 8 health. They are extremely stubborn. and they are in the health dropping group, so they don't drop bombs. But if you have a blue ring and a good tank of health, you're not worried so much about their damage, you're worried about grouping them up and quickly getting rid of them. Getting them all on the north side of that block is great. They're trying to chase Link. Link has a position, he also has an anti-position, and the game decides on a series of coin flips which one the Darknuts are patrolling, and you'll see that sometimes they charge after you, and sometimes they kind of dart away. So if you try and stay close to the center of the room, you'll win more of those coin flips because Link and Anti-Link are in the same position. It's like matter and dark matter, no one really gets it. You can talk to Zoot or Fiskbit if you want more information on that. So there's the recorder. No trouble at all. Tetra's taken all but 2 hearts out of there. That's great. So now it's just a slog through the... There's one more combat room, and then there's Dig Dogger. So level 5 is pretty cleaned up there. Sparko's just right behind, just always exactly 1 level back, getting to the front of level 5, just as Tetra's hitting the end of the level. Speaking of being Fiskbit, ooh, Sparkover doubles back for a heart. That's good. If you stay within 1 heart of full, it's easier to make a decision to recover your beam sword. Unlike Link to the Past, a thrown sword in the original Zelda game does full damage, and you'll see that Tetra's topping up on bombs here by bombing the Dodongo to stun it, and placing a second bomb to smoke it, which causes it to be vulnerable to the sword and forces a bomb drop, which is another peculiar set of mystic behaviors. Good grouping on that bomb in the Darknut room on the Sparkover side. About all these Darknuts are down to about half health, and half of them are dead completely. The Gibdo here, giving no trouble to Tetra, crosses the ring room of River here. And the Pole's voice, my personal favorite, behaving as well. Behaving. Alright, one strategy for Dig Dogger here is you position yourself above the Dig Dogger and blow the recorder and hope he starts moving north. And a very quick, perfect kill there. Another strategy would be use a bomb, but next you want to do level 7, which requires a lot of bombs. So you can understand farming bombs from those Dodongo and then keeping 100% of your bomb capacity on to level 7, because 7 comes after 5. This is one of my favorite split names I've seen in the community. Tetra refers to this next juncture as the West Lake Mall. There's 2 pieces of shopping to complete before 7, and that's for convenience. One of them is the arrows that you need for 6, and the other is the meat required for level 7, which you'll see in about 2 minutes and 10 seconds from now. Sparkover effortlessly glides over a Darknut that was in iframes by stabbing it as walking over the stepladder. The stepladder allows you to move with your sword out, which is extremely... There's only a couple ways to do that in this game. One is while catching a boomerang, the other is on the stepladder, and I guess the third way is by taking damage at the same time, but that's not necessarily in your best interest. Otherwise, you have to stop for 12 frames every time you want to swing your sword. But because of that, I was able to clear out Dig Dogger with a bunch of health and get through those rooms very quickly. Both players in the overworld for this brief moment. The recorder lets you into level 7 as well. It also is used to transport Link from place to place. You'll see that both players have used the recorder to go back to the completed level 4 after completing level 5. Not much combat here, but this is the Robert Redford room for Tetra. This is a river runs through it. Blue Gria have 5 health, arrows do 2 damage, and Blue Gria all are in the health dropping group, which means they can drop fairies and hearts. a couple of rupees here and there. Getting around the Dig Dogger is not even mandatory to fight. What are you doing there, Dig Dogger? Just trying to get in the way. Alright, so the Gorillas are susceptible to bait. You'll see Tetra places it there, and the Gorilla switch targets. They suddenly become very hungry, and the lead Gorilla, Gurumbru, is now defeated by the offering of sausages. These are two really, really great and up-and-coming Zelda players. Tetra has 2 PBs recently, taking about 2 minutes off of her time, maybe 2.5 total between the two. So really, really on fire lately, and it's showing here in this race as she has an almost substantial lead here. Sparkover is going to demonstrate some marathon tactics here. This Moldorm has a room drop of a bomb, and is nice enough to drop a heart as well. There's normally a 10 push-up penalty for touching the Moldorm, but we won't enforce that here, because it could have been intentional to get that heart to drop. Takes Sparkover back up to full health for a moment. Another piece of tech here, Tetra, abandoning a Dig Dogger that had only 2 of its parts remaining. Because the 3 parts make the whole, you can just leave the room and come back, and the Dig Dogger is gone forever. Forcing another bomb here on the back tail end of level 7, very aggressively too. Tetra really knowing the limitations of Link, especially when you have your blue ring. So just getting in the face of that Dodongo, smoking and grabbing the bomb. It's a mandatory drop, provided you don't take damage on certain frames while it's happening. Alright, so Spargo in the middle of level 7, catching up a little bit as Tetra enters the back 3 rooms. Another place you have to place one of your bombs. That's why you want to take all these bombs with you, and why you saw Sparkover detour to get the room bombs earlier. Another Aqua Mentis. I'm sure Sparkover will be eager to get her vengeance on that one from level 1 earlier. Another thing about Zelda is that you have to fill your health after every dungeon. I'm pretty sure this is true for as many Zeldas as I've played. So it can be kind of a time sink here, but Tetra leaving with only a couple hearts missing, a couple and a half. Not bad. Here's one of the most important screen scroll texts in the game. This gets you into the graveyard instead of going up left, down left through the Lost Woods, a trope that's entered Mario games as well as other Zelda games. The crypt walk up to the top right corner, if you don't say hi to too many Genie, is the magical sword. Possessing 12 hearts is the mastery required to hoist it. He directed it and narrated it. That Robert Redford. My goodness. Trying to fact check your commentator? Alright, level 6. Magical Sword does 4 damage. It's like just a constant slew of bombs extending from your arm. But we're going to take some bombs too. You'll see that I call this fishing. Tetra killed the bomb-dropping Wizrobes here and was able to retrieve a bomb. The Zol here, not too much of a trouble. This is the Belfry, because there are bats in the Belfry. Wow, look at that play. Keeping the beams, staying in the middle of the room gives you more time to avoid damage from those fireballs. Trap room, nothing to see here. This is a complicated room. People call this the magical breakfast because it's like the breakfast room, but ooh, ouch. There are Wizrobes. Not bad. With the blue ring, the orange Wizrobe does 2 full hearts of damage, which is substantial, but it's not as frightening as doing this without a tunic. The orange Wizrobes are kind of like rooks. They fire on the lines. Blue Wizrobes kind of walk around, phase in and out, jerks more or less. Nice. Very nice, very nice. Tetra here was able to Bring beams into the room, lay a bomb, avoid the barely visible orange Wizrobe, and just deal a whole bunch of damage early on. That's the Magical Breakfast Part 2. Another combat mandatory room for the back end of 6 here. Good Belfry from Sparkover as well, able to tank a bop back towards the middle of the room while grabbing the key. It's great when you can play a little bit loose and still not be penalized. You notice that when Link gets hit, he either loses some damage or 2 tiles position. This is Goma. Bye, Goma. Bye, Goma. The unnecessary fairy grab. Tetra there, trying to overpool the health there. Sparkover getting a much-needed bomb from an orange Wizrobe, going from 0 bombs to 4 bombs. Alright. After level 6, of course, 6 plus 1 means level 2, which is the closest destination to level 8. Oh, Tetra farming for a bomb, even though she already has 7. Questionable play. Maybe just wants to be really safe here. Nothing on the line. Little fishing stop here. No drops. Hard to tell where Tetra is in the global drops if they don't drop anything. In A Link to the Past, the drops must occur. In this game, you are constantly moving through your drops until you see one. Short work of Goma there. Sparkover's Goma goes right, which is the worst possible way Goma can go. Taking a small refill here. And another room of requirement. The Blue Lagoon has a lot of things going on and causes some sprite lag with the NES. Especially if you take beam swords with you. Kind of another lagoon here. Blue Lagoon 2 is combat required to open the door on the right here on Tetra's side. Blue Darknut still in the health dropping group, being quite polite and dropping health here and there. The statues being merciless here. They are on a similar frame delay timer that's randomized. A little push and a courtesy heart from the final Darknut there. Yeah, Tetra's having a very, very good run. But if we come down to level 9 and that potion usage to see what happens. Manhandler almost behaving there for Sparkover. Let's see how those lagoons go. As Tetra's cleaning up this 4-headed Gleeok. Very polite Darknuts there, giving Sparkover full health and Tetra doubling back for the final heart container. Switching to the recorder, grabbing the Triforce, taking a 5-heart refill. It's gonna take about 4 seconds there. Good grouping here on the Darknuts for Sparkover, unfortunately. It's not a room you want to use bombs in, because like level 7, level 9 consumes a lot of bombs, and you really, really do not want to run out of bombs. Super unhelpful Gibdo, trying to push Sparko into the stairs. As Tetra is on the climb of Death Mountain to go to Spectacle Rock to try and find out where Ganon's been. Advanced speed tech here on Sparkover's side. Stand inside the Gleeok and start stabbing. You can damage race Gleeok, and that's a perfectly acceptable strategy. You're doing 4 damage per stab. You're trying to do 22 damage to that dragon. And once again, Tetra farming here. Also not a bad strategy. These blue Lionel can drop bombs. But they do have more than 4 health, so they're harder to force on. So fishing and down to 3 bombs instead of at 4. It's no big deal. There's some room drop bombs if you are super nervous about it. Just bomb left through there. You want to take 3 keys into level 9. You see other routes. Clear that first room in 9, the antechamber, for that key. And Sparkover's not really that far behind at all right now. foregoing combat here just to try and get across to level 9. These Lionels, they do a lot of damage. Observe. Ooh, gets rewarded for a bomb nonetheless. That's just the way it goes. Some things will never be the same. This is Patra 1. Patra 1 has a good lore about how to skip the damage here. I think what Tetra wants is to wait for the Patrettes to collapse and collect the room bomb here. Go to the next room. The next room is called the Next Room, but we don't know how it got its name. It has 3 blue whiz robes, 2 orange whiz robes. Try and count them if you can before they're all gone. Alright, there's a bomb there. Some quick math there from Tetra. Has 5 bombs, 4 on the ground. Go ahead and use one. And Sparkover is determining the internal temperature of a like-like. Tetra's placed the final key, proceeds through the keys room, and we're on to Patra 2A. 2A is the French verb for to kill. You'll notice, Tetra does not kill Patra 2A. Looks like Sparko wants these bombs too, even though she's up to 6. Alright, Reverse C. Keeper of the Silver Arrow. The mysterious argent that kills. Oh, a clock. That's good. The reason that's good is because the health drop after clock on the garbage group, as it's called, is a fairy. But Tetra's able to get a couple single hearts instead. That is really good. That makes the Reverse C effortless. I don't know, maybe she counted that one up, or is just completely lucky. Alright, let's see if Sparkover can do the same thing. Her global counter is on 8 right now, because we saw the clock drop off of the Zol, 9-10, which is 0. Tetra's doing the reverse clip, doesn't get it right away, gets tagged a little bit. This room is super stressful. You spend more than 40 frames in this room, it's a nightmare. You gotta go ahead and start stabbing the things that get in your way. Sparkover finds a way into Patra 2A. Oh wow, Tetra went all the way down to a half heart, using the potion at the last possible moment. Here she stands, butt cheek to butt cheek with this Wizrobe. Let's just enjoy that for a moment. Sparkover using traditional strats for the Reverse C here, placing bombs while forcing the blue Wizrobes to group up, doing 12 damage at a time at those explosions. Patra 2B, just go ahead and face tank through there since you have full health and another potion. You notice your red juice turns into blue juice after you use it once. As Sparkover gets the Silver Arrow. In general, it takes about 2 minutes to get from the Silver Arrow to Ganon, and then it's up to Ganon how long that takes. So we call this the 2-minute drill. Sparkover landed the reverse clip, but then was immediately knocked out of the block by a Wizrobe. Looks like we're switching to potion here on this side too, so that brief change in pace is now being readjusted. Wow, this race is very close. This is really exciting. The trap room. This is the Dark Queen Duck room, if you remember from an old HEDQ. And the final diamond here, lining up the clip. Very nice. The final keys that we will see on Tetra's side. Say bye, keys. Oh, that one wanted to kiss goodbye. Goes for the grayscale, doesn't get it. Attempt noted. This is Patra 3. Mandatory combat here. In first quest, the only mandatory Patra. Alright. Sparko's gonna go ahead and top up the health. Check the internal temperature of the like-likes, and we have a Ganon fight. The weird pig-looking elephant man. Oh, very nice setup there. Just needed to stab one more time. Tetra thought Ganon had got away, but Ganon has been stunned and shot. This is a very GG. Looks like Tetra's gonna close in here. One room left. Ooh, comes in at a 38. 31. Congratulations, Tetra. An excellent demonstration of The Legend of Zelda. Deathless, no UP+A, 80%. Great job. Let's watch Sparkover with Ones Wild. All ones, hype. Finish up this Patra 3. Only a couple rooms behind after Tetra had that whole level lead early on. Great performance here. In the clutch. Alright, one's still wild. Ganon is here. Switch into silvers. Oh, gets knocked away by a fireball. Where is Ganon? Where can he be? He doesn't get stun locked in the middle there. He's gonna go left or right. Nice. Great positioning there. Just a beeline up to the shutter door. And a princess there. We're gonna close out here with a time of 39:33 and change. GG Sparkover, GG Tetra. Great race. Sub 40s from both on that 50-minute estimate. That's some great gameplay right there. Great work. Get those GGs in chat. Great job. Good to see the Zelda community here, supporting the RPG Valkyries. Great. Yeah, if we can get these two in here for a post-game interview. Would like to hear their thoughts. What went well? Such a great, clean game for the mid-80s, 1986 Nintendo Entertainment System.
Salutations.
Greetings and salutations, Sparkover.
Hello. So I didn't like the part where I died in level 1, but then I liked the part where I didn't die in the other places. So those are my thoughts.
Dying in level 1 is mandatory if you are hit when you have very little health remaining. Explain.
Yeah. Well, you see, when there's this big giant dragon in front of you, and you don't have very much life, and then the dragon breathes fire on you, you're cold as a cod, and you have to go back home, or at least to the beginning of the level.
I see. That does make sense. Tetra, are you also here?
I am also here. GG.
GG. Congratulations.
Thank you. I was definitely scared when I got down to my last half heart in the diamond room below the river sea. That was not exactly planned, but I'm glad it didn't cost me more time than it did.
I looked very, very expert. It looked like you knew what you were doing. And we were all in full clench, and you just stood there with your back up against that Wizrobe. Wizrobe's back up against you, just taking a time to drink a potion.
Yeah, that's me. I just look in the face of Wizrobes, and it doesn't faze me at all. I don't get scared.
Well,
was a really great game.
Indeed.
I did something a little bit different, and I drank my potion in 9. I don't think I was even down to half health, but I figured I was probably going to be good enough to not need it, and I just didn't want to menu to a bomb and then potentially have to menu back to my potion. Time saves.
I noticed that you were also inspecting the inside of the likes right after you had that potion, so I think you were kind of just motivated to keep tanking through the end of 9 there. Perchance, were you watching Tetra's position and trying to catch up?
I did have it on. I didn't think at that point I would really be able to catch up, but I figured any little thing I could do to save time would definitely help. But no, Tetra was ahead of me the entire race, and well, GG Tetra, that was very, very well played. I don't know if you heard, I unfortunately took a death in level 1, right at the Aquamentus, but you know, other than that, I was pretty solid.
Oh, that sucks. Well, at least it's not like what happened the last time we raced, which we won't talk about.
No.
The race that shall not be mentioned.
Yeah, that one.
Anyway,
well,
thank you.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask
you.
Tetra if you noticed that your recent success are applying on your race strats as well. You're definitely on fire lately, and just what's next for you?
Well, people have been trying to encourage me to run without a ring, which is significantly harder. We'll see about that. I I definitely get a little nervous because it involves a lot more resets and it's a much more difficult run. But maybe at some point I'll give it a shot.
Okay, well, we definitely look forward to it, and it's great to see both of you have times on our leaderboard here and seeing them go down slowly over time.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having me and having me race, and to all the Valkyries for their wonderful job running an event for a really good cause. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Tetra. Well said.
Yeah, again, thank you for the commentary, and this has been a fun marathon. This is my last game in the marathon, but there is still plenty more to come, so hooray, let's all have fun, like we have been.
GG Sparkover, thank you so much for your contributions, and thanks for playing Zelda for us today.
Thank you for talking about Zelda for us.
Anytime.